but I will do my work.
Okay, are you going, is tomorrow your weekend to go to Red River?
Yeah.
All right, well, I hope you have a good weekend. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, well, thank you for reminding me. Okay, guys, good morning, everybody. So our joke of the day. What's brown and sticky? Now, I gave this joke to the kids here at school, and they said it could be anything. And that's right, it could be anything, but I want you to think about it. It's a joke. So what could it be? It's brown and sticky. What do you think? Go and put it in the chat if you think you know. You guys, you're just silly Googlers. Willie, did you Google today? No?
No, I heard it like 1,000 times.
You've heard that one 1,000 times? No way. Good morning, David. Willie says he's heard my joke 1,000 times. What's brown? And Nadia too? Oh, I gotta pick a better joke tomorrow. All right, what's brown and sticky? If you put a stick, you are right. It is a stick. You guys, you got me on that one again. One of these days I'm gonna come up with a joke that you can't Google, I promise. All righty.
Miss Badger.
Yes.
Tomorrow, can you send me the joke of the day, then in the chat I'll try to answer it.
Okay. All right, I can do that. Let me make myself a note to do that so I don't forget. All righty, guys, we're going to start with those 5 words from yesterday that were in Schoology for with our vowel, consonant / vowel rule words. So just as a reminder, if the separation for the syllable comes after the consonant, the vowel makes it short sound and it's called a closed syllable because the vowel is closed in by the consonant. So let's check our work from Tuesday. Okay, so grab your whiteboards if you have them handy or a piece of paper, and I want you to show me how you separated this word into syllables. How did you do this one? So write it down, and then I'm going to call on somebody. David, did you want to share or did you have a question?
I wanted to share.
Okay, go ahead.
I split it in between the P and the I.
Okay, and so how would you say that word?
Tepid.
Tepid, that's right, tepid. David, if you separated it after the E, how would we pronounce that word?
Tepid.
Tepid. So it is correctly pronounced when it's tepid. And it just means that like liquids are slightly warm. So it's a temperature for a liquid. Tepid water or milk or soup, something like that. That's a temperature. All right, so separated after the P, between the P and the I. Very good, guys. All right, next word that I gave you was this word. So write this one on your whiteboard and then show me on your screen. Okay, I see there Angelique and Zach. Zach, try again on that one. Where would you separate it in the VC/V pattern? Nadia, try yours again. Thank you, Olivia. Okay, so let me go to Zach on this one. So Zach, the way that you first separated it, how would you say it if you separated the syllables after the O? How would you say that word?
Colic.
Colic. So let's try it after the L now. How would you pronounce it that way?
Colic.
Colic. That's right. So this word is correctly pronounced colic. And colic just means when you're having from gas in your belly. Like babies have colic a lot when they're little tiny babies and they start crying all the time. So this one is separated after the L, colic. Okay, next word I gave you was this one. Morning, Riley. How you doing today? Oh, did I lose you, Riley? Oh, there you are. Riley, we're just going over our syllable rules from Tuesday. All right, so we are on the word, this third word. So Willie, how would you pronounce, or where would you separate this word into syllables?
Between behind the, in front of the V.
Okay, wait, so right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you separate it here, how would you say this word?
Id.
Livid, that's right. What if I separated it after the first I? How would you say that?
Livid.
Livid. So this word is correctly pronounced with the short vowel, livid, livid. And it's just when somebody gets really, really mad, they're livid. So we're separating it after the V, between the V and the I. All right, there you go, Zach, I see it. Okay, let's try this one. I think actually I'm gonna skip that one. We did that one yesterday. I don't know why I put it twice. Let's do the last word. Or I put it on Monday for both Monday and Tuesday. So we'll do the last word. All righty, Olivia, I'm gonna go to you. How do we, where are we gonna separate this last word into syllables? Oops.
By the M and
What
the
side? E. The M and the E. Okay, so how would we say this word?
Comet.
Comet. What if I separated it after the O?
That would be comment.
Well, what sound would the O say if I separate it here? It would say
Comet.
comet. Comet. So you would, if you didn't know how to say this word, you'd try comet, and then you would try comet. And I think most of us have heard of a comet, you know, that's like a ball of ice and dust in the sky. And then when it shoots but closer to the sun and it starts to warm up, the gases on that ball of ice and dust, they start to warm up and it looks like a tail, like it has a tail. So it's shooting across the sky. So that is what a comet is. All righty. And so what we're going to do tomorrow, I have a quiz for you guys that are going to mix both of the VCV rules. And you're going to have to pick words that are separated correctly. So pay attention to that vowel sound. All right. Angelique, do you have a question for me? Thank you, Zach.
Comets are also shooting stars because we see them at night shoot through the sky.
That's right. That's right. They just kind of fall out of the sky. It looks like it anyway. Yep. All right. Olivia, did you have a question?
Yes, you remember from Wednesday's assignment, you remember you said us to cut these? Well, here's my book. I made it as a book.
Oh, you made a book. Okay. So that was for your science, the science assignment yesterday with the parent cards and the offspring cards. And looks like Olivia she printed out the colored ones from Schoology and put it into a book. Okay, very cool, Olivia. Did you look at how they are the same and different from their parents to the offspring? The traits that are the same and traits that are different?
Yeah, because look, this one's a mom giraffe. And then Let me find it. And this one. And then this is the baby giraffe.
Okay, so how are they the same and how are they different? What do you see in the traits of those two?
Their colors are different, and that their colors are same and their scales are same, but their height is different.
Okay, so they're not scales, but they're spots actually that they have on their bodies, the spots. Okay, all right, good job. All right, Nadia, did you have a question? I see your hands up.
Yeah. Tomorrow for the quiz, can you do the link that opens another tab?
I did. So thank you for reminding me. So what I did was I already put it in there, but you guys won't be able to see it yet. So I put the link for in there like I normally do. And so it just pops up in Schoology. And then I did another page with just the website. So you can paste and copy it in there. So if you have trouble, there's 2 ways to get to the quiz. So I think about you, Nadia, when I'm putting that in. So I know to make sure you can get to it. All right, so yesterday or Tuesday, I had you guys read the stories. Let me stop sharing here. The stories called A Grand Old Flag and The Flag Code. And this assignment was to compare and contrast these texts that are about the same thing. So they're about the flag. So that's the topic. And to see what similarities and what differences you found in these 2 texts. So go ahead and grab those if you don't have them. But I also wanted to share something with you guys that I had a conversation with the kids here at school on Tuesday. So we started talking about the reason that we compare and contrast. Why do we need to know this skill? And I thought it was a good conversation. One of the reasons that we do this is because if you compare and contrast, it helps you understand what you're reading. So if you're reading, especially when you're reading 2 things about the same topic or the same idea. And when you do that, it helps you to remember more or learn more about whatever you're reading about. And this is a good habit to get into as you get older so that you can, because in 3rd grade, instead of learning how to read, we're reading so that we can learn about new things. So some of the things that we talked about, there was somebody that mentioned that they have an owner's manual for a car that helps them fix their dad. They help their dad fix up cars, which I know Riley works with his dad on cars a lot. And so you would want to, if you are doing something like that as a hobby and maybe you fixed up a truck and you remember, okay, I remember when I was fixing up the truck, oh, look, now I'm fixing up a car and it's very similar to how the truck works. So it's something that would help you remember what to do when you're learning how to do something new. Somebody else pointed out directions for playing games. So board games, video games. If you're reading directions for one game and you understand that, and then you get a brand new game and you're reading directions for that, you can say, oh, this one's very similar to this game. So I remember how to play that first game. Or, well, this one has a little bit of a different rule than the other game. So we need to really figure out what the rules are. Another example that came up is when you're putting something together, like if you've read directions to put together, I don't know, let's say a bicycle, and then you go and buy like a table where you're like a small little table and you're putting it together. If you remember, you're thinking, oh, I remember I had to use that kind of tool when I put together the bike. Now I'm using that same tool to put together the table. It's something that your brain is doing naturally. You're remembering what was something that was the same that you did before and how would I apply it now? So these are just some things. Oh yeah, recipes. That's another thing when you're learning to cook, that when you compare and contrast how things are the same and how they're different, it just helps you remember more about what you're reading about. So with that said, oh, and then this is for Raven. Somebody also mentioned learning words to a song. Somebody was saying that they remembered seeing a word in one song when they were looking at the lyrics, and then they saw that same word in another song and they remembered, oh yeah, I remember how to pronounce that word because I remember it from my first song. So these are just some things that we came up with when you're comparing and contrasting text, how it will apply to your everyday life. So with that said, this article that you read today, or these articles that you read, oops, not a quiz. Why did I put quiz? It wasn't a quiz. So these two stories are interesting because at the end of the day here at school, our school nurse, he takes a kid every day over to the flagpole and teaches each kid how to fold the flag correctly. And it goes with the story, the flag code. Why do we need to fold the flag a certain way? So he takes down the flag from the flagpole and he has a student help him hold it and he shows him how to fold it. And there's a reason that we do that. And then the other story, Grand Old Flag, is just about our flag. Where did it come from? Why do we have stripes? Why do we have stars on it? But now I want to see what you guys came up with. What did you read that was the same and that was different from both stories? So let's look. I'm going to stop sharing and then I'm going to share my other screen. Let's look at the graphic organizer that I needed you to fill out here. Let me turn this thing off real quick so that I can share the camera. All right, switch camera. There we go. And spotlight. Okay, oh, that's zoomed in a lot. Let's zoom out here. Okay, so let's start with a couple of the differences. So up here in the graphic organizer, it asked you to put the title of text 1 and the title of text 2. So, oh, Zach, I see you put in the chat. I have a game called Tiles Hop, and at first I did not know what to do, but it showed me how to do it, and then I knew how to do it. So Zach, was Tiles Hop the same or same as any other games that you've played? Typing it in there. Okay, I'll let you finish typing because I see Raven's hand is up. Raven, did you want to share something?
Hi, this is Raven's ABA therapist, and I was just wondering for the contrast key details, is it in her red folder or is it in a book?
It would be in her folder from the last folder exchange. So actually it'd probably be in a pink folder.
In the pink folder? Okay, thank you.
But if it's not in there, I can always put a copy of it in Schoology, like a PDF, so that she can at least look at it on the screen.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Check
the pink folder because that's where it should be.
Okay, we're looking now.
Okay, sounds good. Let me know if you can't find it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, let's go to the differences that we came up with. So I see Angelique's hand is up. Angelique, what is something that you put in the graphic organizer that you learned about in, well, let's see what the first one was. I got to remember myself. A Grand Old Flag. So we're going to call a Grand Old Flag since that was on the top. Text 1. So Angelique, what is something that you learned about in Grand Old Flag?
Only 6 countries' flags are older.
Okay, was that something that was mentioned in the second article also in the flag code?
No.
Let's see, I thought, let me look here. So here's, whoops, let's go back to the story here. So I think what you're referring to is this sentence. one of the oldest national flags in the world. Only 6 countries' flags are older. So you saw that in this article. Did anybody see that one in this article, in the flag code? Did you see that anywhere? Okay, I see some thumbs down. Anybody else? All right, how about this? If I turn over, okay, great, I'm glad you guys got it. If I look here in the first paragraph in the second story, it says, it is one of the oldest national flags in the world. So this one is actually mentioned in both articles. So it's here in the flag code. And then if I turn this back to here in the first paragraph in the first article, there it is there. It's one of the oldest national flags in the world. So Angelique, thank you for pointing that one out. Where would we need to put that on our graphic organizer? Is that a similarity or a difference?
It's a difference.
Well, are they in both articles? Did it talk about that it's the oldest flag, one of the oldest flags in the world?
And the similarities.
It is a similarity. So it says, what important points do both texts make? Let me move this so you guys can see. And then this would be one of the similarities that it said it is one of the oldest national flags. That was a tricky one because if you can overlook it very quickly, but it is an important point, Angelique, so I'm glad that you brought that up. It is one of the oldest national flags. So if you don't have that on your similarities, or if you put it up here in a difference, please write that down here. But actually, if you also want to do, since that was a key detail in this text, you could put it up here with the grand old flag, and then over here with the flag code. You can put it both in both places and then make sure you write it down in the similarities. All right, so thank you, Angelique. So yes, I'm actually going to add that here. Oldest. Actually, it's only one. Oops. One of the oldest national flags. Okay, what else did we come up with for a key detail? Nadia, what's something that you learned?
One thing I learned was they have been 27 different versions of the Stars and Stripes.
Okay, was that in both articles or just one?
It's kind of in both articles. It mentions it in it. It's not in both articles, so it's in differences.
Okay, so you're right. It is in the grand old flag, and actually, let's see. Let me see if I can find that. I remember reading that.
Where it says 1777, that's where it is.
Say it again. Where does it say that? Oh, right here. You're right. Okay, so she's looking at the grand old flag, and in this paragraph, see, here's the flag, and it starts from 1777 until now. There have been 27 different versions of the flag, or of the Stars and Stripes. So Nadia, did you say that this was not mentioned, or it was mentioned in the other article? Was it in the flag code?
It was not mentioned in the other article.
Okay, so in this one, key details, you could have 27 different versions of, and I'll just put the flag, but they said the Stars and Stripes. That's what they call it. So 27 different versions. This was something that was not mentioned in the other article. All righty. Raven, do you have a question for me, or is your hand up from earlier? Okay, we'll see if she's got a question. All righty, let's see. Willie, what is something that you came up with in the grand old flag that was an important key detail?
I came up with the flag is called the star striped.
Okay, is that mentioned in the other article or just in the grand old flag?
Let me find it again.
So what what Willie is doing right now is, so he said that in the first article that our flag is known as the Stars and Stripes. So now he's looking in that second article, the flag code, to see if it says anything about that our flag is called the Stars and Stripes. So that's how we're looking to see if it's a similarity in both of them, or is it a difference? Is it just in the first article? So what do you think there, Willie?
I think it's kind of hard because it says that it mentions it.
It does mention it in the second one, but it just refers to how to display the flag, rather than telling us that it's known as the Stars and Stripes. So I see Angelique highlighted that, the Stars and Stripes, and that is in the second article, right, Angelique? Okay, so it does say that, but would it be a key detail in the second article? Is that important information for the second one, or is it just referring to our flag on how we need to display the flag?
It's just referring on how to display the flag.
That's right. So we wouldn't consider that as a key detail for both texts, but in that first one, we could, that is important to know that it is known, the flag is known as the Stars and Stripes. As Stars and Stripes. So that would be a key detail just for the first article. All righty, Riley, what did you come up with for a key detail from the first article? What's something important that was mentioned in the first one?
Hold on, let me find it real quick.
Okay, all right, I'll come back to you. David, what about you? What's something that was mentioned in the first article that you thought was important?
That Francis
Scott Key. Oh, Hopkins. Sorry, wrong one.
Hopkins.
Yeah, Hopkinson.
He built the flag, kind of.
That's right. And you know what? This is very important because if for all of us who are older, and we've learned that the person who designed the flag was Betsy Ross. But in this article, it says that the person who might really have been the person who designed it is Francis Hopkinson. And so the person that we learned about, Betsy Ross, may not be true. So it's very interesting. So that is a key point. Was that mentioned in the other story that you remember, David?
I think.
Do you see the words Francis Hopkinson in there?
Yeah.
Okay, read the sentence from the second article that says Francis Hopkinson.
Okay, it says designed by Francis Hopkinson. It is one of the oldest national flags in
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
the world.
Okay, so is it mentioned in both articles?
Yes.
Yeah, so we can add that down here to our similarities, that Francis Hopkinson designed the flag. So if you don't have that for your similarities, please add that. Francis Hopkinson designed the flag, because that is mentioned in both articles, and it's an important key detail to have on your graphic organizer. So I'll give you a second to write those down. Olivia, do you have as a, something that was in both texts that Francis Hopkinson designed the flag? Do you have that down here at the bottom of yours, Olivia?
I'm gonna check right now.
Okay. Don't you have it out in front of you? You need to have it out in front of you so you can add to it. All right, I'm going back to Riley. So Riley, is there anything else that was important in the first article that you felt you needed to write on your graphic organizer that was a key detail, something important?
Let's see. From 1777 till now, there's been 27 different versions of stars and stripes.
Okay, perfect. That's the one up that we have up here, I think. Did Nadia mention that one? Nadia, do you have a question for me? What is that there, Nadia?
Yeah. So actually, I googled it and it says Betsy Ross.
It does, and that is something that was interesting when I read this, because that's what everybody says is, and how I learned it and from long ago. But I think that more information is coming out, and now they're wondering, was Betsy Ross truly the person that designed it? Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. So this was interesting. So thank you for looking that up there, Nadia. Okay, so let's see who else. Angelique, did you come up with anything else that we don't have here that are important key details for the grand old flag? Anything worth mentioning? Zach, do you want to help her out? Anything that you put?
I put only 6 countries. Flags are older.
Okay,
That was only in that one.
We have something similar to that in up here. We just put one of the oldest national flags, and we could add to that and say only 6 countries have an older one, an older flag. So yes, you could put that. And that's also one that was mentioned in the similarities. So we added that down here to the bottom. Did you want to add something else, Zach?
No, I was just gonna say that I don't have any more room for key details for grand old flag.
I'm running out of room too. So if you run out of room, you can always do it on the back. It's okay. All right. Anything else? What are the flags? I'm sorry, what do the stripes and the stars represent on our flag? Do you think that's important to mention? Riley, what do you think? What did it say in this article that, what do the stripes represent and what do the stars represent on the flag?
The stripes represent people who fought for the flag who died.
Well, let's see. Let's look back at the text so that we can make sure that we are correct. So if you look, oop, I just lost it. on the paragraph. So let me put this over here. Okay, if you look at where it starts at the top or close to the top of the second column, it says in 1818. So Riley, will you start reading from there and read that paragraph for us?
In 1818, people realized that one star and one stripe for each state would make the flag too crowded one day. It was decided that the flag would always have 13 stripes plus one star for each state in the Union. Every time a new state joins the Union, we would add one star. Once a new state becomes part of the nation, a new flag is introduced, the following 4th of July.
Okay, so what do the stars represent?
They represent a new state that joins.
That's right. So we have 50 states in our country, so we have 50 stars. Now, if you look over to the first column in the third paragraph, it says there was one stripe and one star for each of the 13 colonies. So originally, what the 13 colonies were is when the United States was just starting to form, the 13 colonies were, I guess for simplicity's sake, I could say they were like the first 13 states. And so each of the flag, so if you look at the flag, there's 13 stripes total, and each of them represents the original 13, kind of like the states, but they called them colonies. But they couldn't add more stripes as we got more states because it would become crowded. So they just decided, let's change the stars and add the stars for each new state. And that way the flag doesn't look more crowded. Now I have a question for you guys. There is some talk about making Washington, D.C., which is the capital of our country, its own state. So if it did, how would this flag change? What do you guys think about that? If we added a new state, what is going to change? Zach?
It will change by its country?
Well, we're adding a new, well, we don't know if it's going to add a new state, but let's see. David, what do you think? You had your hand up. You want to help Zach?
Yeah, if we get a new state, that will be 51 stars.
That's right. We'll have a new star for the new state. Would we change the number of stripes?
No.
No, the stripes will always stay the same, but we would add another state. So if that happened, we'd have to get brand new flags for all the places that we have flags right now. So that would be an interesting transition to get new flags. But I thought that was a neat idea. Well, when they started talking about Washington, D.C. possibly becoming a state, I thought that changes a lot of things, including our flag. Okay, so let's go back to this where we were adding information. We need to put something about the stripes represent colonies, and the stars represent the states. So stripes represent colonies, and I'm going to squeeze mine in. Stars represent states. So let's add that into our graphic organizer. What was that? No, Ryland's still not here today, so I don't know what is going on. Okay. All right, thank you. So in this first article, now that we've added the stripes and the stars, I think that most of the key details from this article have been covered. Remember, key details are the important facts of the story. So let's look at the key details from the second story, which is called The Flag Code. So Angelique looks excited to share a key detail from the Flag Code. So I'll leave this here so you guys can finish writing if you need to, but I'm going to move to Angelique. What did you put for a key detail? What's important about that article?
Transitions have developed to help people treat the flag respectfully.
Okay, was that mentioned in the first article?
No.
No, it wasn't. So that would be a key detail for the second one. So I'm going to move this over. Move it down. I'm going to put the title, the flag code, and then I'm going to write the key detail that Angelique just shared. Traditions. Can you read it again for me, Angelique?
Traditions have developed to help people treat the flag respectfully.
Okay, traditions have developed to help people treat the flag respectfully. That is important. That is exactly what this article is about. Respectfully.
Miss,
All right, so
that's what I put too.
you put that in there too, Olivia? Okay, good job. That's important. There. All right, let's go. David, your hand is up. What's another key detail that you put for the flag code?
I put after the Civil War, many of the men who fought in the war wanted rules for people to follow the handling or displaying for the flag.
Okay, and you know what, that detail that you just said, I think goes right along with what we just wrote to help people treat the flag respectfully. So what you have and with this one that we just wrote, that would mean the same thing, just to remind people, handle the flag respectfully. So that works. Willie, what did you come up with here for a key detail?
I put how to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, so in this one, let's see, where did you see that? Can you read the part of the text that you saw that in?
Okay, let me just find it real quick.
Let's see, I'm looking too.
The USA Flag Code also introduces instructions for how to act when saying
Act when saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, so this is another part of the flag code. So the first one that we mentioned was when they're handling the flag. This one that Willie mentioned talks about how to act when saying the Pledge of Allegiance. So Willie, was this also mentioned in the first article or just this article?
Just this article.
Okay, so I think that was a key detail. We can just put how to act when saying the pledge. And that means we need to stand and just be respectful. And that's why we stand and why we put our hands over our heart, because of the flag code. All right, so that is an important key detail right there. Nadia, what's another key detail that we have in this article that you thought was important?
Another key detail in the flag code is it also
It also, say that again?
When they're flying the flag on the pole, or staff should be raised quickly at the beginning of the day. Like how you said, on how the nurse takes the kid to go take the flag down. This is how they put it up
Okay, so Nadia is looking right here. It says when flying the flag on a polar staff, it should be raised quickly at the beginning of the day, but lowered slowly at the end of the day. So this is another part of the flag code. How should we raise it? How should we lower it? So I'm just going, and that would be an important key detail of the flag code. So I'm going to put raise quickly, lower slowly, just to remind us of what we wrote. Raise quickly, lower slowly. Do you have this one on your paper, Riley? Okay. Angelique, go ahead and share something.
In the quickly and slowly, the two last letters are suffixes.
You're right. Slowly, in a slow way. Good job for recognizing that. Nice job. All right, let's look. I'm going to challenge you guys to find a statement that talks about where flags should be displayed. What places should we show our flag? Look in the text, and I'm going to give you a hint. This is in both of them. David, what did you see?
I saw all government buildings.
That's right, all government buildings, which is a school. A school is a government building. Post offices are government buildings. They're saying that all government buildings should display the flag. So that is actually, since that's part of the flag code, that would be a key detail from this text. All government buildings. Riley, do you have this one? Olivia's writing it down. Good. All government buildings should display the flag. And this is in both articles. So this one that I just wrote in the flag code, I also want you guys to make sure you have written it or write it down here in the similarities, that all government buildings should display the flag. Should display the flag. All government buildings should display the flag. So if you don't have that in your similarities, write that down, and then when you're finished writing, I want you to look into the first article. Where does it say that in the first article? Zach, do you have a question for me, or did you just want to mention something?
I have a question.
Okay.
Can you go back to the flag code key details?
Yes, okay, so I'm going to move from the similarities, but I have this similarity in the key details of the flag code.
Thank you.
Okay, so Angelique, looks like you're done writing. Will you check? Hi, Angelina. Good morning. Will you check the first article and find out where does it say it in the first article that it should be, the flag should be displayed in government buildings? Can you read to us when you find it? I'll give you a hint. It's at the end. So what Angelique is looking for is where in the first text, it talks about where the flag should be displayed. So look here, Angelique, the last paragraph. It starts with from. Will you read that for us, please?
From schools to government buildings to supporting events, we see the flag nearly every day. reminding us what it means to be an American.
Okay, so it talks about where the flag is displayed in both articles. It's here in this first one, and then in the second one, it's toward the end of the first column, right here. All government buildings, including schools and post offices, should display the flag. So that is a similarity in both articles. Okay, so there's a couple others, but I'm gonna see if you guys came up with anything. Did anyone have anything different that I haven't added to the similarities that you found that was in both articles? Okay, all right. If I stop sharing, did everyone finish writing, or does somebody need more time? If I change my camera, you're good. Zach, you good? Oh, Olivia needs it. Okay, I'll leave it up. Oh, you don't need it, Olivia? Okay. All right. So Riley, hang in there, buddy. Let me change this over. Stop spotlighting. Okay. So what your job is going to be now, since we took what you wrote and then we did some together to make sure that you have enough information. Your assignment is going to be to write another compare and contrast essay. It should be easier this time because we have some things that are the same in both articles and some things that are different. So what I'm going to have you do with this, actually, let me just share my screen. Well, I'll tell you. You're going to use the format that we did for the gorillas, where you're going to use the same. You need to make sure you have a topic sentence. Actually, I'll just share the directions because they're in Schoology. So let me go into that real quick. And I'm going to see how our essays turn out this time. I think that you guys have a better idea now of what to do. So let me share my screen. Okay, let me go into the Thursday folder. Whoops. Come on, computer. Okay, Thursday folder. Reading. Grand Old Flag and the Flag Code. Okay, so today we talked about what you guys wrote on your similarities and differences in those two stories. So what I want you to look at is down here where it says your assignment will be to write a compare and contrast essay on paper. That includes an introduction topic sentence. So we already know we're comparing and contrasting the key details of a Grand Old Flag and the Flag Code. So there's your topic sentence. I want you to give me two similarities that were mentioned in both stories. And what did the stories say? So the evidence from the text. And then two differences. So you have plenty of differences to choose from. So what does that mean? It means to say, well, in this text, it said there are 27 different versions of the flag. However, it did not mention that in the Flag Code. So you need to make sure that you mention it doesn't say this in the other text. And then wrap it up with a conclusion sentence. In conclusion, these are similarities and differences in the Grand Old Flag and the Flag Code. Okay, and we're going to share these tomorrow. Make sure you write them. Are there any questions on this assignment? Questions going once, going twice. And if you still have questions, I'll still take them, but let me go through your assignments now. Okay, so DLA, whoops, there we go. DLA, day 3, check your work. Your reading assignment is what I was just explaining to you. You're going to write a compare and contrast essay on the Flag Code and the Grand Old Flag, and then use those, what I mentioned to you in Schoology for your requirements. We're going to do another quick lesson today on pronouns. Whoops. Come on, computer. There we go. Pronouns, page 324 and 325. These are subject pronouns. Remember, the subject is the who or what the sentence is about. And then Schoology, I put some nonsense words in there for you today. Some funny words to see how we would pronounce them if we split them after the consonant. So I'm going to give you a challenge of those words. So any assignment or any questions on your assignment today? Questions? Olivia, what is your question?
Can I show you something?
You sure can.
Let me get it. Look.
Is that Pikachu?
Yes.
Is it just like a squishy? Like a stress ball kind of?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. I like squeezing stress balls. And I have one that's like lettuce. It's my stress ball. And then I have an apple for stress balls. So I like those. Very cool. Alrighty, any other questions for me? All right, boys and girls, good work. And Miss Adamia will see you today at 1:30. And I think that's it. Oh, folders are ready for exchanging. So if you haven't picked yours up, you can come at any time. And
My
is that
mom
what you?
gave me,
Oh, go ahead, Dave. Oh, is that Olivia? Olivia, go ahead.
my mom gave me my work, but it didn't come in a folder because I didn't bring the folder.
That's right. So put that in your new folder or one of the folders you have, and then send back the other one with your work in it.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Anybody else? David, you had your hand up a second ago. Did you have a question?
No, sorry, I accidentally put my thing up.
Okay. All right. So anytime they're ready for you guys. All right. Have a great day. Just guys, so you know, Gabriella is not feeling well. That's why she's not here today. She's pretty sick. So just keep good thoughts in your head for her. Hopefully she doesn't have coronas. Hope she's just got some bug that'll go away. So she will hopefully be around tomorrow. We'll see. All right, Olivia, question?
Yes, my little neighbor, she was sick because she ate so much hot chips and her stomach was hurting.
I just had a conversation about that with Jaslyn here at school, and she eats hot Cheetos all the time. She says she gets stomach aches, and I said, those are not good for your belly, for sure.
And she barely turned 5 Wednesday. That would be yesterday on Wednesday. But she was 4 and she eats like a whole bag of chips by herself.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good. Those chips